curious to know what stood out to you from the talk, or
Okay, so we got some questions already.
The thing that kind of stood out to me was I was hearing about the mechanics of your life and the struggle for survival and so on, but I was not hearing the passion, if there is one, of why you're doing what you're doing, and also if there's a vision behind it that you see. I didn't hear that at all. So my question is, what's the purpose of this talk? Because otherwise it's all very meat and potatoes, survival, that sort of thing. But life is a lot more than that. And so, as far as I'm concerned, people ought to be doing something that they're really passionate about, and they're willing to just keep growing in that direction. And then the uniqueness, the specialness will occur naturally. And people will become indispensable because they can do something that no one else in the world can do.
Ooh, that's a good question. I think one of the, do I need to move back? Yeah, okay. Well, when people do ask me, what's the motivation, I just am honest, pay the bills, first and foremost. I have 3 kids, or I had 3 kids when I started the business. I have 5 kids now. Why did I do landscaping? Pay the bills. Why did I do construction during recession? Pay the bills. But like you said, that's just what anyone will do. Anyone will do anything to pay the bills, right? I personally love building something. So marketing, media, and something visual, right? So if you're a developer, you love creating something that works. But generally, you're looking at code and then you're looking at how that works, right? I was inspired by the media that I consumed, and I just thought it was amazing to influence people through media in some way, hopefully in a positive way. And so that's why when my friends are going out 20 years ago, hanging out to the bonfire up in the woods in rural Washington and inviting me, I'm making excuses for why I'm not coming. Because I wanted to be able to create. I wanted to be able to make things that inspired other people. Maybe that's a good way to put it. Now, and it's frustrating when you have that passion and people won't give you a chance to make it into something that they'll pay you for, right? Especially initially, you don't have any experience, you barely have a portfolio. It's a recession. You're in rural Washington state where a bunch of Arizonians and Californians have come to make their, retirement home. No one's hiring young marketers in that area. So then you take the job 4,000 kilometers away because they're going to give you a chance to do what you like to do. Build, create, inspire. For a machinery manufacturer, in the woodworking industry, how boring is that? Oh, what I forgot to add is boring businesses are best. But that's another talk. Hopefully that helps a little bit. I love to create, so this current job and business that I'm in now, I'm building a business. We're creating for clients. We're also, the other thing about marketing that I've had to learn, not only is it creative, it has to be strategic, and that's one thing that I've been working on, learning a lot more about in the last few years. Not just making a video, having a purpose behind that video, etc. So I think it fuels my interest in learning, creating, etc. Having a family, though, means you have to say no to a lot of things as well. And I love having a family, but the point is you can't do everything, right? Especially when you're trying to build a business remotely and have kids and things like that. There's things that you say no to, right? But it's also very rewarding. Any other questions?
I went to a financial event yesterday talking
Dang
about
it, rub it in.
different ways to sort of levels you need to be at to do certain things. And one of the key takeaways was getting to learn what your effective hourly rate was. And so you look at all the things you do, you look at all the money you get for it. And then there was sort of a point in the middle where you sort of work less and get a lot more, and work more and get a lot less, work more and get a lot less. So you want to be doing more of the stuff in the top section. What sort of wins have you had in that capacity?
Well, that's something that I kept telling my wife for the last 3 years. We're gonna get there, we're gonna get there, we're gonna get there. You know, because you start by freelancing, then you build a team. They're a remote team, they're not native English speakers. So there is a lot of training, there's a lot, and you're working for, you know, Western, you know, corporate companies. There's a lot of training that has to go into that. And sometimes it feels, at least in my case, like it's never gonna end. You're always going to be, just have to be there, otherwise it's not gonna get done right. The second half of this year, I've had the most free time I've had in the last, 15 years?
18.
18, okay, yeah, she's counting. And so, to answer your question, Shane, I think it's finally paying off, the amount of training and hand-holding and help and assistance that I've given the team over the years while giving them the potential to do it on their own, which has allowed me to then, you know, today I just took the day off because I'm helping out with a convention this weekend. You know, we took the 2-year-old to the hospital for a little thing, and no one bothered me, which makes me nervous. But generally, I think that's a good transitioning is happening, so thanks for asking. Mona survived.
Yeah, thank you for showing the story that you wanted to share with us. I think you showed a lot about your life, and thank you for opening up, and beautiful kids. The reason why I attended this talk is I was really curious how you build up a marketing agency here in Thailand. I myself am a software engineer, but I will stop that soon and create my own business. That's why I attended this talk, so I might need a marketing agency soon. So can you please help me a little bit, because I have no idea about marketing. I just know marketing is a big thing. I kind of need to understand what clients you currently have and what you do for them. I'm very curious if your clients are all from abroad or locally from here. I got my book illustrated here in Chiang Mai, actually. It was very good to work with somebody from Thailand, because we became friends afterwards. But can you please help me? So what kind of projects you do? Because I really don't know what kind of fulfillment I would get from a marketing agency. I hope that I placed this question here right. And then I'm also curious how you build up to get these clients, if you knew them before, how big they are, what kind of revenue these companies make, so I kind of get a better understanding on that. Thank you.
Sure, yeah. And I didn't add too much in the presentation I was thinking of doing a lot about marketing and, you know, building a business, but then I also thought, you know what, I'm not sure, I'll tell my story and then we'll see what actually people are interested in digging into, so that's perfect. Kind of marketing we do is kind of, I would say, small business marketing. So if you're a smaller business, we can help you, you know, set up a strategic marketing plan that you can actually implement, and then we can also implement that for you, right? We are not a performance marketing agency. We are kind of a generalist marketing agency for smaller businesses, and then we'll bring in specialists as needed if there's something specific that's needed, right? If we can run Facebook ads and we're okay at it, but if there's a really big budget and a particular ROI that people are looking for, then we bring in a you know, help for that. Our clients right now are about 70% outside of Thailand, about 50% are in the US, some are in Europe, and then some are in Thailand. Almost without exception, expat-owned Thai businesses. So expats that own a Thai business, and they want to work with a local marketing agency, and they want to be able to chat with me about what's needed, and then our Thai teams figure it out, right? Or if it's a Thai-focused business. And at the moment, it's the whole gamut. We have several YouTube creators that we do a lot of video editing for, channel management for, script writing for, a lot of that. We have just really boring companies in logistics and manufacturing in Europe and the States, and we act as an extension of their marketing team, where we're helping them with content, we're helping them with video, we're helping them with social media. We're very bespoke, so we can adapt to that specific need that they have and build up a process for that. We're not like most marketing agencies, which would be, we're going to get really good at SEO or video or this particular type of video or this particular type of social media for wellness coaches. I've tried to niche down, but I haven't been able to yet. Again, paying the bills, right? I've so far just had to take the jobs that have come along and adapt to it and kind of see that there is an overall trend, and we are positioning ourselves to head that direction for next year and kind of level up the type of businesses that we work with. Does that help to answer your question? And then is there any add-on clarification that you'd like?
It did really help, thank you. I think I'm loud enough. Yeah, you can get all upstairs.
Sure.
I was working before and it was really loud. That's why I came down. Where do you get your clients from? Yeah?
So the last few years, most of our long-term clients who have been with us for many years were either people I just met at an event, they're running a business, and they look at me when we're having our coffee, and they're like, oh yeah, I just can't get a good marketer or video editor on Fiverr anymore. That, well, our team does this, this, and this, and they're like, okay, and 3 years later, we're still doing business. My old network, so people I've worked with in the past, in the last 20 years, who call me, referrals. So referrals, once I am doing good work, we're doing good work, and then business owners refer me to the next. That all takes time. For the first time, we're really actually going out and doing some, let's say, cold outreach to businesses that we'd like to work with, mostly to get on their radar. Not really necessarily that they're gonna, snap us up right like that.
You have to be a very open and personal person if you want to really be able to connect with if you're wanting to get clients like that are around you. You just have to go. You have to market yourself, and go to events, go meet people, and it's not like you just make a real connection.
Yeah, it's weird. There's a lot of people I know, and I've known them for years, and they had the same problem for years. But then suddenly you're actually talking, and then you go, I could fix that problem for you, and suddenly they're like, oh, that's right. Just because you know someone doesn't mean they think that they're, that. A lot of people assume everybody's busy, and it's like, no, I have capacity. We'll fit you in. Yes, sir.
Hi there, so thanks very much. I was touched and inspired by what you said. It's great. So if I've understood right now, you're using YouTube to, in some cases, you're working with creators who I guess are doing their own channels about whatever, and I guess it's even that may or may not be selling something per se. I guess it could be somebody doing a travel blog or whatever.
Sure.
And then you're using YouTube to represent, I'll say, more traditional businesses or tangible businesses. Is that right?
Yeah, currently we're doing editing for that range. Yeah.
So I guess I'd be interested to hear more about YouTube and like how it's changing, and then also YouTube compared to, I guess, Instagram and some of the different platforms, and strengths and weaknesses, and where you see it all maybe going.
Ooh. Well, I would definitely say come to the talk on November 8th, because we'll have people who are making full-time with all those channels talking about their experiences, and they're fairly new to it, where they built it up fairly recently. Yeah, YouTube, we help some larger creators with their content, so we're privy to the back end of their strategies and how they're coming up with stuff. I have to say, every single well-running YouTube channel or business I've ever been a part of is a shit show in the background. Like, it's always messy, right? It's not like this, wow, we really know exactly what we're doing. So I think a lot of creators put that on, like, wow, I know what I'm doing as a creator, but in the background, I've never seen that they do. The YouTubers that we work with, they are dealing with changes in YouTube, for sure, one way or another. And it might not be YouTube per se. A lot of times it's their actual content and channel, and they're like, okay, we rode this wave as far as like who was interested in what topics, but now people are over that. Where do I pivot now? Or do I pivot too hard? I'm trying to pivot and people are not liking that. So that is an issue that a lot of people don't think of. You spend so much time trying to become a successful YouTuber. All the successful YouTubers I know spend a lot of time on trying to, how do I keep being a successful YouTuber? And that's quite stressful because you now have an image and a business to run.
And then you're dealing with the algorithms changing and being stupid and
For sure, and Nick Nimmin that runs the Nick Nimmin YouTube channel, he gave some good advice, which was make sure that as a creator, you are diversifying your sources of income past those channels as quickly as possible. Like, create some value for someone beyond just that YouTube channel or that TikTok channel, because you do not want, who's going to be doing TikTok in 50 years, right? As your retirement thing, right? Like, I don't think that's going to be a thing. So make sure that you mentally are going through, okay, like, how do I start diversifying my income? Be like Selena Gomez, right? My gosh. Wow. If you don't understand the reference, look up what she's done with her business and why she's a billionaire now, not because of her music. TikTok and Instagram, I just actually read her outline for what she's talking about in November last night, and she has some really good stuff in there about making sure that you're creating content. This applies to anything really that people want to consume, not that necessarily that you want to tell people, but that people want to consume. And that's a difficult flip that she had to do, and that she noticed by just pushing out content on a regular basis, not caring. It didn't have to be perfect, but pushing out content, and then going, oh, this is what people like, this is what people enjoy, this is what people want more of, and then refining from there and refining from there. I, as an experiment, set up my first TikTok about 6 weeks ago, and it's interesting because we have some YouTube for our marketing agency, we have some Instagram, we have some TikTok, and all of them are very, very different. Thinking about axing the TikTok, but we'll see. Hope that helps.
think about what?
Axing the TikTok, yeah. At the moment, it's 50-year-old Thai ladies that seem to, almost without fail, so I'm just not sure if that's my target market. Anyone else? Or do we need to close it up, Shane? Nick?
I've got a sort of boring question about team management.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps if you have any tips around team management, and maybe particularly comparing the US versus Poland versus Thailand.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think most of us are fairly. We've all watched The Office, so we're fairly up on U.S. Office dynamics, etc. Moving to Europe and then kind of being in a little initially even a leadership role, I was very nervous because they weren't native English speakers. The English level wasn't really high, which is one of the reasons why I was moved over there. And I'm the go-getter and the one that likes to do stuff and get involved. And I'd had some issues, even in the States, with team members about that before. And I just realized, you know what? I've had enough issues with this. I need to really, really watch that in Poland because I could just talk over everybody. And also there was that's the American, and so it just was, okay, we'll probably have to defer to corporate American guy. Poland was lovely, but there were some interesting dynamics. My experience, again, was a bit of a bubble because I was American, so even in the team I was treated differently. I remember once my team member, the video guy, who was hired before me, and he was asking me to come to a meeting, and I was his superior at this point. He's asking me to come to a meeting. I was like, why do I need to be in that meeting? You just need to talk to production about getting that video done. And he says, because if you're in the meeting, we'll get what we want. And I was like, why? Because I'm Polish. And it's just, they're going to treat me different, right? It's a little bit more adversarial, right? I'm going to have to, but if you're there, you're going to have to speak in English. It's just going to be more difficult for them to say no, so can you just come on? I was really upset that that existed, but he wasn't. He was just like, dude, we got this superpower. We got this American guy we can pull into meetings, so come on. I really enjoyed working with the Polish team. They were great. In Thailand, there's, I've had, as the boss, I've had to work through yes boss, no problem, and then find out later they had no idea what I was asking them to do, or there was some questions, but they didn't feel like they could ask. So the whole getting a lot of yeses, but then it not being understood, or that definitely exists. We try to, the team, we don't, any issues with, especially a Thai team, we never air in public. We do it, privately. If you lose face in Thailand, it's a big deal anywhere, right? But it's a very big deal here, and so we're pretty careful with that. So yeah, we've basically had almost zero turnover in our Thai team in the last 2 years. One girl just got a job at Korean Air on the flight attendant staff, so she's leaving us, but. No, it's been quite positive. They've felt safe, and we've given them space to kind of grow and do new things. And then sometimes when it didn't work out, we didn't be overly negative about it. We just kind of repositioned and gone from there.
Okay, we might stop there, but Jake's going to stay around for 15, 20 minutes if you need to ask any more questions that might be relevant to you. But yeah, thanks very much again, Jake. There's a whole lot of stuff happening in Chiang Mai in the next few weeks. Next week is Halloween, next Friday, so we're going to not have this event, but the week after that we've got an SEO specialist. The week after that is a SEO conference that's in Chiang Mai. But all around Chiang Mai, the week after, next 2 weeks' time is Loi Kutong, Yi Ping. So Yi Ping is where you let off the lanterns, and then Loi Kutong is where you send a little raft down the river. So there's a whole bunch of different places around Chiang Mai doing crafty activities around the kratongs. You can make your own and learn more about the cultural aspects of that. And then, it's going to be a very busy weekend, so make sure you're in Chiang Mai at that time. At the moment, I don't know of any in Chiang Mai lanterns setting off, but there are a few places, Doi Phuket, Lamphun, and a couple of very expensive paid events that you can join. But there may be some sort of out of town that you can get involved in. Yeah, that's it for me. Thanks very much, and have a good week. Jake's here, Amber's here, the boss, so feel free to ask them any questions you want to know. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Jake.